Hey everyone, so today I'm going to be talking to you about Amazon FBA versus Shopify Dropshipping. We're going to go over everything, the pros and cons of each business model, and which I believe is the better option to start with. Now, although for me, I've done $7 million in sales with Shopify Dropshipping, my answer here is going to be completely neutral, looking at the actual pros and cons of each business model and really figuring out which one is actually the best business model to get into. Both of them is selling online. Obviously, Shopify Dropshipping, you don't touch any of your products. You are basically the middle person. You go ahead and go to AliExpress or any private supplier and you can see millions of products that you can sell and become a brand owner of those products. And then you can build your own website and sell the product at whatever you want. Once you get the order, you just basically have the middle person ship your product to the customer and then you just keep the profit. So let's say you get a product for $10, you can list it on your website for $40. Once you get an order, you basically take that $30 in profit, you put it to your pocket, you take the $10 and you pay for the product, they ship it to the customer. Now remember, with drop shipping, you do have other fees. For example, you have to drive traffic to your website. You have to go ahead and advertise, whether it's with TikTok or Facebook, and that costs money, okay? With Amazon, you kind of have an entire platform with hundreds of millions of sellers that could potentially buy your products. Now, just by looking at both the business models, you might say to yourself, hey, Amazon's really awesome because I don't have to advertise. I just put up a product and it sells, right? Well, not really. Let me explain a little bit more of the cons about Amazon. With Amazon, you have to remember there's a lot of fees that come with actually selling on the platform. Now, although Amazon actually does your shipping for you, you have to buy a lot of product up front, and that comes with a lot of risk. In fact, when you buy product in bulk, hopefully you think to yourself that it sells. But what most people don't think about is what if it doesn't sell? Personally, I've ordered a lot of stock into the US and many times I've taken tens of thousands of dollars in losses because my product just stopped selling and no one was interested in my product anymore. So that's a massive risk that you have with Amazon FBA, is that you hope that your product sells and you have to buy a lot of stock up front. With dropshipping, you don't have any inventory that you have to worry about. Once you get an order, then you purchase the product and then it gets shipped to the customer. Also, remember that you do not have control over your products when it comes to Amazon versus dropshipping. Let me explain what that means. So with Amazon, if someone wanted to return the product, you don't have to say yes or no. They just return it and you automatically lose that money. Also remember, you do not control your traffic when it comes to Amazon and you don't really have a brand that you can potentially sell. Keep in mind with dropshipping, in the past, we've built brands like Cloudy Sharks, for example, where we sold these shark slides and we ended up selling the brand for 6 figures because we had a brand that we were actually able to sell, an actual website with creatives, with actually customers that we own, their emails, their phone numbers, all of that the future buyers can go ahead and actually use to sell more products or even related products to those customers. Now let's talk about fees. This is something that most people won't talk about, but it is so important when you're trying to build a business because these fees can actually stack up. What type of fees am I talking about? Payment processing, seller fees, all of that. Now with Shopify Dropshipping, the only fees you really have to worry about is the 2.9% that the processors take and the Shopify monthly fee, okay? Shopify has a $1 per month trial going on right now. And then after that, it's like $39 a month. So not that expensive. As opposed to Amazon, they take a lot of seller fees. Amazon currently takes about 15% of seller fees right off the bat. So if you do $100 in sales, 50% right away goes to Amazon. Also keep in mind, you have a lot of different shipping fees and storage fees that you have to pay Amazon to do the fulfillment for you. Now let's talk about shipping speed. This is obviously, no doubt, Amazon wins this battle, right? Amazon has the fastest shipping, 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 days versus drop shipping. However, it used to be that people had this weird connotation of that drop shipping takes 3 to 5 weeks to ship your products. And yes, that is completely true maybe 2-3 years ago. But in the last year or two, there has been a lot of companies that have been popping up that do faster shipping from China for dropshippers. For example, Commercive, which is a company that I currently own. We do fulfillment for dropshippers, and we get to send the products to the customers within 5 to 12 days. And that's pretty fast for shipping from China, which customers really do not mind, especially because they're getting a product that they actually want. And you can even do custom packaging. You actually control your brand when it comes to Shopify dropshipping. Dropshipping has changed a lot recently, and really we're focused on building brands. So with these Chinese suppliers, sometimes we do custom packaging with our logo and branding on the package. So it doesn't just look like a cheap dropshipping store, it actually looks like a real brand. Now keep in mind, this was always a question for me when I was first starting. Do I start with Amazon or do I start with Shopify dropshipping? So if that's something that you're wondering, here's my baseline answer. It really depends on what your future goals are. If number one, you have, tens of thousands of dollars to invest, Amazon might be the way to go. But just keep in mind the risks. If you do not know anything about selling online or you're new to this, many times Amazon sellers get screwed and lose thousands of dollars not able to sell the products that they chose. Just because you buy a bunch of stock and send it to the Amazon warehouse and hope that it sells doesn't mean it will. So that's number one. Just keep in mind the risks of you losing all that stock and not being able to sell it. Now, as opposed to dropshipping, you can start a dropshipping business for $1,000 to $2,000 at minimum. Obviously, one important thing that you're gonna have to learn when you're building your dropshipping business is running TikTok or Facebook ads and the marketing side of things. However, that also comes with massive scalability. When we find a winner product with our dropshipping store, many times you've seen us scale to hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales in literally 1 to 2 months. With Amazon, that's almost impossible to do. Now, yes, we've seen it happen, but with dropshipping, it's a lot easier to scale once you have a system that prints money for you, where you put in $100 in ads and you get $300 back in sales. You could just spend more effectively while you scale and really get a lot more back. So it just comes down to a money and scaling game at that point. Now, recently on my channel, I interviewed someone who started with Amazon FBA, ended up losing thousands of dollars, and then moved over to dropshipping. And recently he was able to explode his dropshipping store to close to $50,000 in sales in his first month of dropshipping. Now, obviously for dropshipping, just like any business model, it's not a get rich quick scheme. He happened to have prior knowledge from Amazon, so he was able to crush it right away with dropshipping. But for the average person, especially for me, it took me around 6 months to really start making some good money with Shopify dropshipping. Now, of course, that depends on everyone because they are actually building the business. No one's gonna build it for you. So what you do on a day-to-day basis is obviously going to affect how successful you'll be in any business and how successful you will be with e-commerce and selling online. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, whether dropshipping or Amazon is your favorite bet. But most importantly, that you choose one and you go 100% in on that business model. Trying to be a rabbit and jumping from business to business is not always the most smart thing to do. And trying to do too many things at once will just result you in getting no results. So figure out what you want to do and go 100% in. If you're looking to get started with Shopify dropshipping, I have a completely free training in the first link in the description. If you like what you see, you can book a call with my team and we can see if we can help you. With that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.